Welcome to the Unrivaled Potential Podcast. This is Mike Pomeroy,
Morning.
owner, founder, head brainchild of Unrivaled Plumbing.
The Unrivaled Corporation.
Yes.
Kind of like the Umbrella Corporation, but better. Yeah.
Ooh.
Yep. Yeah, if you heard the Resident Evil, you ever watch those?
Oh, no.
Wow.
I've watched a lot of movies. I read books.
Yeah. They haven't made a book about that one, I don't think. Yeah.
I think you're talking about the Umbrella company that, like the superheroes school or whatever.
Well, for like X-Men, so you're talking about?
Yeah, isn't that what it's called?
I don't know.
Oh, well.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it.
What am I, some kind of nerd?
Yes, you're a big dork. Remember? No, anyway. What were we talking about? Oh, yeah. Unrivaled plumbing and heating, shower and bath, coffee, and, of course, the Unrivaled Potential Podcast. Welcome. Thanks for
waiting for a ding when you smiled like that, for the little star on the side of your teeth to pop out, like the old commercials.
Right. Anyway.
Moving right along. Yeah. Resident Evil. Anyway, there's this company, the Umbrella Corporation. They let out a virus that corrupted the whole world and turned 90% of the population into zombies.
Oh.
And then they were like doing basically what the Germans did with humans and trying to get them all to change into weird animals and stuff. And it's a crazy movie.
I see why it's called Resident Evil.
Yeah.
That sounds terrifying and also oddly possible.
Yeah.
I also
especially if you vote Democrat.
I like the the cleverness of calling it the Umbrella Corporation too, or the Umbrella Company, because they're all umbrella companies. They just don't call themselves the Umbrella Company.
Yeah.
Just like we've got our umbrella companies. Oh, back to our original conversation. No, it's two things. One, I'm not going to beat them. I'm just going to enforce the standards that we set.
Back to kids.
That makes all the difference.
Yeah.
But when we got certified as foster care parents, the lady, she asks us, so what do you do for discipline? And I said, well, we duct tape them and throw them in the closet. And I thought it was hilarious. The lady thought it was funny. My wife did not think it was funny. She's like, you can't say that.
You know those Velcro suits? Yeah. You just throw them to the wall. Yeah.
Come back and get you in 5 minutes or whatever.
Yeah, as long as you don't forget. Yeah.
Yeah, we joke about that, but one of the kids we had in foster care, her parents would put her in the corner and leave her there for hours, and then she'd eat the drywall. So timeouts were not a good punishment for her.
Well, you got that good taste in lead paint. I can't.
That's what they say. I don't know.
Maybe you're bored. Yeah.
They do say the lead stuff tastes much better. Just like McDonald's French fries.
It tastes like McDonald's French fries?
No.
Oh, just
McDonald's
better.
French fries are bad for you, but they taste delicious. I mean, all French fries, right?
No, not all. Just depends.
Okay.
I've had a couple of bad ones. I like the battered French fries. Those are my favorite. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or fresh ones. You put them through the machine, and crush them.
It also makes julienne fries.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, we're talking about ways to grow fast and things like that. And we've talked to several different business owners and also finance people lately, and just different ways of acquiring money and fueling the engine, because you've built a great engine here where you're able
to toot toot. I ever tell you about the little engine that could?
No.
Well, yeah.
I gotta watch more TV, I guess.
I guess it was the Major Payne was way old movie.
Oh yeah, that is an old movie. That's awesome.
Yeah. Driving through the jungle, and the bomb went off, and there's little Johnny down there. He's like, Captain, I can't feel my legs. I said, Johnny, you ain't got no legs. His little nubs were just going like this. Tomorrow I'll tell you what he used for a penis. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I'm not going to go back and watch that one because it would probably ruin all my illusions of how good it was. But Damon Wayans back in the day.
Oh man, fantastic. Yeah.
Fantastic. Boy, we were talking about something. Anyway, so what's new with you?
Well, moving the engine across,
Oh yeah, I mistakenly said you built a good engine here.
Yeah.
And Mike went,
squirrel.
But you built a really strong business here that fixes a lot of people's problems and as a result makes some good money. And so throwing more gas in that engine allows you to go faster, help more people, and hit some of those bigger goals and do some of those different things that,
Well, you say gas, but if you state, statistically by a big engine, really you're looking at diesel.
Right, fair enough.
Yeah, so I mean we got to be accurate on air.
So jet fuel is basically diesel, right? Really pure diesel. That's what we put in the tanks.
Jet fuel is pure ethanol, isn't it? Because it still fires under combustion, not pressure, doesn't it?
I don't know.
Yeah.
All
so
right.
Diesel fires under pressure, and gas fires underneath combustion.
We'll just call it JP8 because that's what the Army uses, and that's what we put in our tanks, and that's a jet engine. So I'm just going with it.
Yeah.
So put some JP8 in your engine.
Yeah, there you
go. and it'll go faster.
Am I being difficult this morning? Is that?
Welcome back, Mike. It's so good to have you.
Yeah, right.
This is why my wife gets so pissed off at me because I'm always correcting her.
Yeah, it's like, yeah. Don't you mean them? Yeah.
They, them. Yeah. So anyway, put fuel in it and it'll go faster. Next topic.
It's moving right along.
Moving right along. All right. Now's a great time for funny plumbing stories with Mike.
Why can't we do funny marketing stories?
Because there aren't any.
Oh.
This one time I showed up and this guy wanted to put a cat in his ad.
Yeah.
That's it. That's the whole story. I told him no, and he said, "Oh, okay."
Maybe it should be cats with sweaters.
Missed it.
Yeah.
Not funny stories, but marketing can be fun when you get like a good idea or somebody gets a good idea. Usually it's you or one of my other clients, and they're like, "Hey, what about this?" So we put the girls in our radio ads last week, and everybody's like, "Oh my gosh, it's so cute!" It's getting way better results than the used car salesman guy who they had on there first. Like, come on down to the second annual Foster Connections dinner.
Buy one kid, get one free. Yeah,
we're raising money for homeless kids. It's wonderful. Come on down.
Yeah.
So now we've got cute kids saying, "Thank you, TEI Rock Drills." Anyway,
and I think that's
where marketing can be done.
That's where it's fantastic. Funny. No, but when you have, I think there's a level in your business that it's more realistic if you have your kids in it. But there's like I've heard car salesmen or car dealerships do ads with their kids, and then I think that's unprofessional because I'm actually trying to listen to that. I mean, because they're selling a product, right? This is a sponsored dinner. It's a little different. So I think it works fantastic. But when you got kids trying to market the fact that you're selling something, then I think it's, for me, but we've all learned that I'm not an accurate measure of these kinds of tools. But I don't want to purchase.
When we do focus groups, we kick the guys like you out. We're like, we don't care what you think.
Yeah, exactly. So.
No, but to your point, there's a local company here that for the last 20 years has used their kids in their ads. So it started when they were really cute little kids, and they'd be like, well, I'm not going to use their slogan because then they'll know and they'll sue. Don't share this with those guys. Anyway, it was really cute. A couple of years later, it's like, oh, they're growing up. That's really nice. Now they're in their mid-20s and they're still using them in their commercials. It's not as cute, and I don't think it's having the desired effect. So everything in moderation. So
right.
Yeah. Same with financing. Moderation. Take on what you can afford and pay back quickly. But if you've got a great product that's going to sell like hotcakes, why wait? Go get your shark and get that thing financed and roll, right?
Some exclusions apply.
At least we hope so.
Yeah. Kids don't try this at home. You gotta say something in there like that. Not go find a loan shark, take out cash.
Talk to your accountant or financial representative before investing any money.
Go to one of those places with the bars on the windows.
It says Rapido Dinero.
Yeah. Right.
Dinero Rapido, whatever. I don't Spanish so good.
Yeah.
All right, I've given you plenty of time. What's your funny plumbing story for the week?
What was the last one I shared? It was talking about
under the trailer house. You sliced open the thing and
was it the last one?
Well, I think wasn't it?
That probably was. Yeah, I thought that was the first one I shared.
You also got left in a crawl space under a school or something.
Oh yeah, that was the last one. Yeah. Okay. So moving right along, that was my first year.
We're going chronologically.
Yeah, absolutely. Else I'll forget all of it or forget that I've shared it. So now we're moving further ahead from that. That was my first year as an apprentice. It would have been moved to Idaho, and the guy I worked for. So start off with this whole story. You know, I'd gone out for an interview. It's about 5.5 hours from me. And at that time was a really long drive, lots of money, all that stuff. And
how am I going to afford the gas money?
It was a friend of my wife's uncle, and he needed a plumber. So we went out and interviewed. Interview went really great. The guy was super excited, met him and his wife. And he was late for the interview because his property was on fire. So he ended up going out there and like helping with some of that, and then interviewed, left, drove home. So 3 weeks later, I had to go out to the oil field for just a couple weeks for some quick cash because this company had laid me off and a bunch of other guys. And so pack up the trailer house I got for $125 off of Craigslist. And away we went. You know, we had no lease on the place. There was no rent because the place was condemned, and we didn't realize that until 4 months into the lease. And so we're just living in this place for free in this trailer.
You're not going to kick us out, so we're not going to pay you.
Yeah, nobody knew we lived there. You know, it was the nicest trailer house on the block, so tells you a lot about that place.
Wow.
The windows wouldn't shut, so I had to layer spray foam. It was the old trailer houses with the windows that did the whole, like 3 sliders that went up, you know. So
grandma's house.
I had to spray foam them shut to keep the spiders out, and anyway, so we finally move out to Idaho, get put into the house, start work the next day. The guy picks me up, hop in the pickup. I'm all excited now, a little nervous, and away we go. Instantly, he's got AM radio playing, which it was my first experience with AM radio. Right. I didn't have any old timers in my life that were listening to Dr. Stan at the time, and Glenn Beck, and it was Glenn Beck. Then it went to Rush Limbaugh, Dr. Stan, and then Laura Adams. And I had to listen to that in the order. So I hopped in the pickup, and he goes, "Mike, what do you think about aliens?" and he didn't care what I thought. He just wanted to break the conversation. He goes, "Most people are really dumb and they don't understand how real they are." And that was pretty much the story of my life for a year.
I love that you worked there a year.
and to finally get out of this job. Well, anyway, 2 months into it, he had a new construction job with Ukrainians that were on the lake house out there, right? We had Lake Coeur d'Alene.
The lake house.
And they had 4 levels, and so they were remodeling one level at a time. He had a year prior remodeled this home with new PVC, but they had somehow forgot to tie in the 3rd floor bathroom in the crawl space, and the rest of the house was plumbed. And so they were sitting out on one of the 4 back porches one day. Somebody was out there having a cigarette, and somebody flushed the toilet, and they watched it go shooting down towards the lake, just a stream down the side. And so my boss goes, "Hey, it sounds like they got a water leak over there. I'm out of town right now. You got to go check out what's going on." And so I opened up the crawl space, and it's been dumping sewage into the crawl space for a year, with 8 Ukrainians living in the house, using the bathroom, eating weird Ukrainian food, you know? So
as if it matters at that point what food they're eating.
Yeah, well, it's a cultural thing, you know.
and so context.
And so there's, you can't tell at the time, but there's a 2x6 for where you crawl in the crawl space, and the 2x6 is level with the ground.
But you
and
can't see the 2x6.
and I could see water shooting over this beam. Yeah, I was like, oh, I'm gonna have to grab a couple fittings and call my boss. Like, man, you can't even get in the crawl space. We got to get a pump truck or something. He's like, I can't afford a pump truck. That was my mistake. You better fix it. and
I'm out of town.
I was a very different person at that time. Yes, boss, right away, you know. And so I had to lay a tarp down, and so I put this visqueen out and layered it in, and then I sat down in, and it kind of folds around you like these cushions, you know, just kind of tucks up on the side.
Mm-hmm.
And
hopefully it was nice and warm for you.
Well, it wasn't super warm, but you had to put the tarp over for all the maggots and the bugs because it's been alive, you know, for a year or so. It was like sitting in a septic tank.
Yeah.
Very similar to that. And so I just put it down and just kind of folded around me and left it in pressure. I left the plastic down there, hooked it up, and
away we went.
Away we went.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. All for $9 an hour. Yeah. Yeah.
God bless America.
Yeah.
Ukrainians go, it smells very bad down there.
Yeah. So it's not something I laughed about at the time. I was pissed, and then a couple of years later, it became funnier.
When anybody complains about the cost of a plumber, I'm like, really? Have you done much?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
That's the definition of paying your dues, right? So next time one of your young guys who's just learning how to do it says, "Oh, I don't want to go in the crawl space."
Yeah. There's spiders down there. I was like, wow, it's better than shit. Yeah.
Just light them on fire like I did.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Better than Ukrainian.
Yeah.
And now I'm really curious.
Just light them on fire. Be a man. Yeah.
I'm really curious about Ukrainian food now.
Yeah.
Boy, that story made me hungry. Not really. All right. Well, Don showed up, so that means it's time to.
Our producer is in the background. You can hear him, Don Martin. Yeah. He's sponsored today's podcast.
Don Martin Realty.
Yeah.
United Country, where we can find you a ranch or something.
He's offered 20% for every lead he gets from this.
That's right.
20% of what? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Anyway, like and subscribe. Share this with all your friends who like, debased humor and things like that. Have a good one.
Right.